Hello.
Nice seeing you in this sunny evening in Chicago, believe it or not.
Where are you at?
Chicago.
Oh, in Chicago. Cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
Chicago. I think we played in those parts not too long ago. I think we did the
The Brower House.
yeah, we did the Brower House, and then we did that other little festival with Randy and them, and we played that Reggie's place a few times.
Yep.
So, and we'll be back there again. Reggie talked about bringing us back again. I was like, man, we play in those parts a lot, but since we got a new record out, I think we're going to come back there soon.
Oh, my first new piece of news for me. Thank you. But happy birthday, man.
Oh, thank you very much, man. I'm still here. Whew, I turned
40
66.
years old, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that. I recorded Thunder Still when I was 5.
Correct.
Yes, I went
No,
bad.
we with metal we don't age, man. You have to know that better than me.
Yeah, I turned 61 and I just been doing it so long, rock and roll and stuff like that. So, it's just second nature. But yeah, I mean, I'm still here and doing it and I love it, man. It's something that I love to do.
Yeah, and it shows. It shows in the new album, I have to tell you. For whatever the reason, I cannot put my finger on. Wherever I hear Riot, and I will credit also Todd's vocals, I get this kind of a strange nostalgia. I cannot put my finger on why. Something familiar, you know. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is.
Well, I mean, one thing is that when I started continuing on, it's just Riot has such a long career. They started in '75, first record in '77, Rock City. So Guy Speranza had this unique voice before they went to Rep Forrester with that. And then my year's Thunder Still with that voice. So continuing on, when we did with Immortal Soul, we still had that vibe, and then after the passing of Mark, and we continued on with the fifth chapter. I got a singer that was reminiscence of the early days of my days. I wanted to write power metal like Thunder Still, so that's when I got Todd Michael Hall, and he fits in. So I think nostalgia for Riot, when you hear our songs, I still write most of the songs and I channel my years with Thunder Still. So I'm writing that style. And then Todd sings like Tony Moore kind of. So it's reminiscent. So you have that familiarity, I think, where we're continuing on in the right fifth chapter 5, but it's still like a Thunder Still lineup, because that was my era.
Right.
I don't want to go cash in on the past because I loved them, but I wasn't a part. I joined on Born in America tour towards the end, but my thing was, the power metal version. So that's what we do right now, and it's going good, and we're still doing it. This would be our 17th record. So wow,
Right.
crazy.
And I'm not saying that the band is trying to copy themselves. I hope it's clear. I wasn't implying that.
No, no, no. I understand. I understand.
But there is that, I don't know, that's very cool. However, just by looking the release dates, right? Someone will say that Mean Streets took a long time in the making. So what happened there? Because we
It
had the COVID, we had the pandemic in the meantime.
Yeah, it was like almost 6 years since we released Armor Alight. There was a few factors in there. The lockdown was a big one, that it still to this day it affected the industry.
Oh, yeah.
you know um we couldn't really play. We had some dates planned, but we couldn't do them because overseas every country had different rules.
Hmm.
Quarantine, shots, this, that, we're like, you can't do a tour and play. And then we wanted to release a physical album. Not a lot of record stores anymore. At least you could go in somewhere, get the record, and then we come on tour, you come see us play. So we wanted to do that. We didn't want to wait. I knew a few bands that released records during the pandemic and they just kind of were there. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, we want to wait. So now it's back to a little bit of normalcy. So now was the time to kind of get on it. But other than the lockdown factor, we switched labels. Nuclear Blast did an offshoot label. Some of the members of Nuclear Blast decided to go and make Atomic Fire, and the people that went were our A&R department and our promo department, and they loved the band. Marcus and all of them, they were like, we're going to make this label, but you can stay with Nuclear Blast, it's going to be all good, or you can come. well, we want to go with you because you push us and you know how to work right. You're our friends and fans. So they did that. So they ended up going over there, and that took a little time. And then now, they're talking about they're together with Rainy Phoenix and stuff like that.
Right.
So, now they're finally coming into shape, and all that. But when we're recording, also, we went through three producers. The first one, we recorded 20 songs, but we picked the best 12. And then we had the producer that did Armor of Light, Chris Collier, and he produced the new record. But the deal was, when we wanted to do Mean Street, we wanted to kind of not just do the straight power metal that we've been doing. We wanted to kind of reach out back into the roots and do a couple rock and roll songs
Okay.
and power metal. And so when he produced it, the label was like, it sounds too metal of a mix, not big bass drums. It was thin, and we were like, well, he's a great producer. And they're like, yeah, but we want it to be bigger, like Bruno Ravel did on Immortal Soul and stuff. And so we said, okay. So we recorded it, did all that, and they didn't like it. So he went by the wayside. And then we got two other guys, and then we still didn't like the production. And then finally, Bruno, I contacted him, and he was doing like some Danger reunion dates, and he was producing, stuff. He played with Mark and Tony Harnell and Westworld, a couple other projects. So he finally said, I can do it. So in 2 months, he got all the tracks and put it together. So that took a little bit of time. Three different producers,
Oh my
and
goodness.
yeah, it was crazy, and a lot of money spent because a budget on the first guy, a budget on the second guy, and then a budget for Bruno. So he finally did it. And then when the label heard it, they said, this is exactly what we want. This sounds like Immortal Soul. Bruno mixed it, and this is what we want because y'all are doing, your power metal and some rock songs. So they ended up digging it. So, I mean, a lot of stuff happened within those 6 years, and it went by quick. So, here we are, and finally the record's going to be released. We're excited. It was going to be released February 16th, and then because of all the change, with the record label moving and all sorts of different things, and they were cleaning house. They pushed it back a little bit. So the excitement's still there. They released High Noon lyric video and said, we're going to wait. But then they decided to do the Fill the Fire. So, it's the excitement's back. And so it'll be out, soon.
So how long have you finished the album before going through all the production cycles, let's say?
Well, the record was finished. It's the whole lockdown thing. It wasn't really finished. I mean, like I said, the different producers had finished it, but
Okay.
they didn't like the production. But when Bruno finished it, was probably about, I want to say maybe last year and a
Well,
half,
I was
maybe.
asking more when the band has recorded everything, and the last
Yeah,
step was to the production.
yeah. Well, we finished. God, after each producer took about 2 or 3 months.
Oh
So
my God.
going
So
through a
entire
few of them, it
year,
took a while.
half a year.
So
Mm.
yeah, so basically, after we finished everything, it was probably about a year and a half
Okay.
till the final product was out. It would have been sooner, but because we went through the producer thing, it took a while to actually get the physical product and mix going.
So the 8 songs that did not make it to the album, are they release-worthy material?
We always we try to do that. Like even on Armor of Light, we had songs that extra songs that didn't make the album. A couple of them we thought were really good, but we like to pick and choose the best ones. So me and Mike Flint's, we write all the songs, so we'll pick our favorite ones and put them together because his style is different than mine. He was Mike DeMeo era. They were a different kind of thing. And then my era was Thunder Still. So we take our styles and put them together. And we pick the best ones that we feel. And I think we picked the right ones, but sometimes we'll go back and use these on another record. I think on Armor of Light, we had a song called San Antonio about the town. That
Mhm.
was an older one. Mark even like wrote part of that.
Wow.
And we still have Mark Reale songs. We have two that we're talking about putting on the next record that will have Mark in the credits because they're old demos, and we'll revamp them and stuff. So sometimes we
Wow.
use them and sometimes we don't. It just depends.
Wow. Let's talk about the cover artwork. I think this is the first time that there is a female seal, right?
Yes. Wow, it's taken a long time. We've never done we've never done a female seal, and well, it was kind of strange, when we decided to go with the title Mean Streets because we were talking about Riot always names their albums after a song.
Mhm.
I think that we have two albums that weren't named after a song. We were going to call it Hell to the Warriors, like the first song, but then we were feeling that might be a little bit too much like a Manowar kind of vibe. We're like,
Yeah.
no, we got to do like a Riot vibe, like Mean Streets of New York City, because when I wrote Mean Streets, I wrote the music with like a Johnny's Back old school feel, and then I wrote the lyrics about growing up in New York, where the band, was born in Brooklyn. When I lived with Mark for a while, and there's got Lamore's in there and Cat Club, all the places we used to hang out at, and on the streets and all that. And so that's how I wrote the lyrics. So when we decided to go with it, we gave it to the artist, the label artist, and he had a concept. So he said, "Well, it's Mean Streets. Let me put motorcycles." And then of course he goes, "I got to put your seal as the thing." And we're like, well, of course you got to put the seal.
Well,
That's our mascot. You know what I mean? But and we've just been stuck with this guy forever since Rock City. And people are like, Maiden has Eddie the Head, and Megadeth has Rivet Head, and all these heavy metal guys, and you guys got a little seal. It's like it's just we carry him. People know us
at this
through him.
point, you cannot.
Yeah, you cannot. He's just been with us so long.
Right.
So he was on the last two Riot 5 records. He was on, Unleash the Fire, and then he was on Armor of Light. So the guy said, well, I'll put him on bikes, and then he sent us back a couple ideas, just him and the girl. And we said, we like to have 5 because it's Riot. We want to be each of us as a member. So we'll have one guy with a sword, one guy with a tequila, and then one guy has a babe on the back. And when he first sent it, I was like, wow, we've never had a girl seal. And then he sent it back and she looked a little weird. And we're like, well, no, you got to fix this. And then almost it's like she's got like a metallic chichi hanging out. And I was like, what the fuck is this? So we laughed about it, and we were like, well, okay, it's different, but they're crashing through a barrier and it's got the babe on the back and the bikes. And then, of course, you see us, we're on the bikes in a couple pictures
Yep.
on the album. So they went ahead and done it, and I haven't ridden a motorcycle in quite some time. Todd rides them still. Todd is a Harley Davidson collector and he rides motorcycles every weekend and stuff. But
I'm
so,
jealous.
yeah. Oh, he's got some, God, he's got half a dozen collector motorcycles and he still rides them, man. But that's where it came from. The album, we just decided Mean Streets, and they came up with the concept and we thought it was cool.
And you have Johnny in the lyrics of the title track, right?
Uh-huh. I
Okay,
gotta use Johnny. That
of course, of
I'm
course.
famous for that. When I first wrote Johnny's back in the day, I carried over. We even used it in Black Leather and Glittering Steel. We used them in Still Your Man. We used them in Metal Warrior. And I'm like, I like to do that. I don't want to be repetitive, but I think the fans dig it.
Of course,
And
it's not being repeated. Come on.
yeah, but the seal at first they call him the Mighty Tior, and then now because we use him so much, they call him Johnny now. So now
Right.
it's Johnny Mighty Tior. So, but yeah, I just think I like to write. I don't write for myself. I write for the people that love Riot. So I like to play music that I know they're like, that I know they'll sing to. Shine, shine on. They like that. And even on Hell to the Warriors, Hell to the Warrior. There are warriors. So when I write stuff, I think of Johnny's back and different things and stuff. So we'll keep the little guy as long as we can.
You should.
I
For
know.
the beginning of Hell to the Warriors, there is a movie excerpt there, right? And if
Yes,
I'm not mistaken, it's from the Ten Commandments.
it is.
How
Yes.
do these two elements fit together? Help me.
Well, yeah. Well, what happened was when I make the intro tapes for Riot, when we play live, and before we come out, you'll hear the intro tape playing.
Mhm.
Well, that was an excerpt I had. I have a bunch of samples of different things. And there was a 10 Commandments, and there's a couple other ones in there. There's one called what's it called, War of the Rose, and there's another one in there where I use from Mortal Eyes, that I
Mhm.
have a song in there. But anyway, I have them underneath. So what I do is I send them to Bruno, and I say, I said, put this thunder, because I have thunder. I said, put this thunder underneath the guitars and put the little sayings. You know what I mean? Like, hey, hell of the
Yeah, yeah.
lion, So we like to put little excerpts. So when you see us live, obviously that's what we're going to open with. When we come out now, that's going to be playing, and then we come in, and that'll be the intro and stuff like that. But we use little excerpts of certain things that are free domain. I mean, old movies, you can use them. So I felt like I wanted something when I wrote that. I wrote Hell to the Warriors, and I wrote that little guitar part
Mhm.
in the beginning. And I said, yeah, put something underneath it, thunder and voices and stuff. So that's basically where it came from. And Bruno just
So
put
it's
little pieces of
the
the voice.
the audio side of things. There's nothing in the lyric. I could not find anything in the lyrics that would
Yeah,
make a connection. And
yeah, yeah.
then, speaking of movies, I thought initially that High Noon was because someone. No, it is for someone who liked Western movies or Old West, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mark,
Mm-hmm.
back in the day, Mark, we even had some too on he used to like westerns. Even before I was with the band, we would hang out. We would watch westerns. I mean, we would even go camping, and he'd play a guitar by a fire. Mark, he was real into that. And when he wrote Outlaw, Restless Breed, Gunfighter, he used to like that. So I thought about that when I wrote the music to High Noon. I was like, well, I'm using the aggressiveness of like a On Wings of Eagles or Dance of Death, some stuff I wrote in the early days. I said, I'm going to write that vibe, but I want to write lyrics that Mark would have. So I said, High Noon. I'm going to write it about, westerns like Mark did. So that's what I ended up doing. I said, I'm going to write, lyrics like Mark would have done. So this is it has that, that feel of an old school and the lyrics Mark like. So I think it came out okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
And
love the
then
lyric video. Although I was expecting to see the band wearing in a cowboy.
well, we thought about that in the very beginning. Even in Frank, the drummer Frankie Gilchrist, he was like, we should come out, with ponchos on
Right.
and like Clint Eastwood, a cigar and riding and stuff like that. And then the label said, "Oh, we don't want to do a big production of this, just a lyric video." And we're like, "Oh, there's so many ideas,"
Come on,
but
man.
they wanted to just get it out. So who knows? I mean, we could do another one at a later date, but we're like, okay. So they ended up just wanting to get it out with a lyric video. So
That's okay.
we
That's
were
okay.
like, all right with it. So
But you did release Feel the Fire, and that,
that's a real one. Yeah.
yes, yeah. Although with the AI, I think there will be a day that we will not be able to figure out if it's true or if it's fake. But hope I won't be alive on that time.
Yeah.
So Feel the Fire, and don't take it in the wrong way. I get a grinder feeling, or
Mm-hmm.
even up to the limit from Accept in the main riff. So what's happening there?
Um, well, I wrote that one too. When I was going back, the last two, Riot 5 records has been in the Thunderstill vein. They've been Unleash the Fire, had a little bit of rock to it. Armor Light was a real heavy hitter,
Mhm.
the production and the songs. So when it took so long to come back, I told the guys, I said, let's make a good, well-rounded Riot record, like some stuff that sounds like Rock City and Narita. Let's do a good variety. I'll write two or three power metals, but then I'm going to write like a rock song. And so I did that with three of them. And Feel the Fire came from, it's got the grinder kind of feel to it. When I was growing up as a kid, I used to love the riff of it, but they're in the key of A and they play it, it's a different tempo. So I said, well, you know what? I'm going to do an F sharp, but I break mine up into almost like a Def Leppard-ish Riot chord, not a power chord, but a little more melodic. I said, yeah, let's do that. to make it sound like, it's more like Riot. So we did that. And then when I wrote the lyrics, I wanted Todd to sing, like a Tony Moore, Tony Harnell from TNT, because it's commercial. So we started doing that. And then when I wrote the breakdown, I said, I'm going to go into Led Zeppelin right here. Real rock and roll. So I said, that'll be cool. And then Bruno said, instead of starting off with the guitar, like, let's do a big feel the fire. I said, that's beautiful. Perfect. So we took that in there. We did the Zeppelin part. We do a Priest part, Buried Alive kind of vibe. And then we ended it with just a ferocious fucking lick. So you'll hear that grinder vibe, and a couple of people have knocked it out, but just an influence. I grew up with
That's
Judas
fine.
Priest,
I mean,
one of my favorite bands, and Iron Maiden. When I wrote Victory, people said the same. It sounded like Iron Maiden. I'm like, yeah, I'm influenced by him.
and we keep forgetting that we are talking about bands from the 80s. Now we are 2024. And
Yeah.
what, 3 generations?
Mm-hmm.
So you will have people who have never heard of this stuff.
Yeah.
So just making a simple connection as that works for me perfectly to teach the younger
Yeah.
generation.
Yeah, that's what we thought when we wrote it too. Also, and the video, when they came up with the video idea, we liked it too. It was a little old school where you have the fine babe in there, because what happened was we almost wanted to start with Feel the Fire as the first one, and they said that's too different. Let's do High Noon so they know it's Riot power metal, and then let's go for the second one, but a real one. And we haven't shot a real video. I mean, we do green screens, but they flew us to Tinton Falls, New Jersey, in a big warehouse they use for movies. And Tom Flynn, who did some work for Saw, that movie, but he does Lamb of God, Buck Cherry, Run DMC, he does a lot of stuff. And so we went to a real place with a producer, and the little track camera and cut, this and that, it was like a real thing. We haven't done it in so long, but we liked it. But when we told them the concept, I wrote the lyrics too. Besides the music, I wrote the lyrics. I said, it's just a song about a guy and a gal just obsessed with each other. They're feeling the fire in their heart and soul. They just want to get rowdy with each other, And he says, dude, crazy lights, fire, and I'm gonna get a babe, And he got Liv Walsh. She was a Miss Pennsylvania chick, and she came, and she walked, through us, and we were doing that, and we were like, all right, this is a little weird. It's like a bunch of old guys from Riot and this hot little chick walking through. We're like, it's almost like she's my cherry pie. Remember
Right.
that old video? We're like, he goes, you can't go wrong with a fine woman. He said, guys will love it. We're like, and you're going to get new fans because, like you said, some people haven't heard or even know Riot, and then they'll see this and they'll be like, wow, that's kind of cool. So hopefully we got a little testosterone boys out there that love the song and like the girl. So
will you be releasing any other lyric videos, or I don't know if you have filmed
yeah,
another one?
yeah, we already did another one too. When we did the Feel the Fire with Tom did a second one too. We've
Okay.
recorded that in New York City. Came back down. It's Mean Streets, title track. And it's a cool one because it's got us it starts us like Blood Streets. We're walking in an alleyway, and then when
Okay.
the song ends, we're walking out of the alleyway. We all have jackets that say Riot, like a gang. It's really cool, and we have our character, like we were just talking about, our Seal
Johnny?
Johnny.
Ooh.
We have an actor in there wearing the seal head with a jacket, and so he's hanging out with us, and uh, we're in a bar. There's a scene where we're in a bar doing shots of tequila, and the seal's there doing a shot with us with the seal. It's
Oh,
fun. It's funny. You'll like it. It's kind of tongue in cheek, but we thought it's kind of funny.
oh
But
man. Too
it's to
many
me.
spoilers. Too many spoilers. I need to stop.
Yeah. Now when you watch it, you'll love it. And then another lyric video is "Love Beyond the Grave." One
Mhm.
Mike Flinch wrote. Well, we all kind of wrote little parts of it. Frank wrote some lyrics. I wrote the chorus. But that one, it's going to be a lyric video, but with real footage because
Okay.
Tom also did a little piece of that. We had time left over, so we did a little piece. So it's going to be lyric, but you'll see Todd singing and us playing. So it'll be half and half, and that'll be after the record comes out. Mean Streets comes out on April 12th with the record, so it comes out together. So
So
you have to wait for the seal.
Shirt on or shirt off?
Huh?
Is he wearing a shirt or not?
Who, Todd or the Seal? No,
Todd, man, come on.
Todd doesn't wear a shirt on stage. No, the Seal's dress.
Okay, I'm
He's
joking.
got like jeans on and a leather jacket. But it's funny because we had these Seal masks made, and I don't know if you've seen pictures, but we have people that wear them when we come out. So basically, what we did is we had one, and we told Tom the idea, and he loved it. He said, "Oh, I'll hire a guy to wear it." And we said, well, he doesn't have to do the whole thing, just have him in a leather jacket with a thing. And literally, spoiler alert, we're sitting at a bar, we're having a good time, the band, and he comes walking in and we're like, hey, Johnny's here. And we hug him. You'll like it. It's funny.
You should put for sale some of these seal
Mask, right?
masks. That would be cool.
Yeah, we could
Um,
tell him.
you have announced dates in Europe, from May 8th until the May 19th.
Mm-hmm.
How is the rest of 2024 for Riot?
They well, it kind of worked out with the release being pushed back to April 12th because the record will be out for like a couple and a half weeks. Then boom, we hit the road. Starting in Europe, Bart Gabriel's booking us, so we're going to Warsaw, Poland. We start, and then we do like it's like you said, like a couple and a half weeks where we'll come back home. Then we got a few things planned. We're going to do some U.S. states,
Okay.
and we're going back and forth. We're doing Japan and Australia in June, July, Wacken, Sweden rock festivals, South America in September, and then we got some stuff. We're going to do a West Coast, East Coast, Midwest. Like I said, Reggie's wants us back. We're going to do Wisconsin, Minnesota, and different things. So it's gonna have like how we are in the States. It's not like we can't tour constantly because we're a
Right.
mid-level band, so we have to play certain markets, and so that's why we do it like that. We play like we'll do like a Texas, and we'll include places, Florida, up, we just go around and stuff
Right,
like
right,
that.
right.
So, well, it's hard, Riot, we're not one of those big giant money makers, but we like to get out and do it for the passion, for the
Yeah,
music and the
well, Don,
fans.
I think things have gotten worse in terms of, as we say, the scene or the industry. So it's even harder right now.
Totally. We don't get the money we used to. Some venues won't book us because a lot of people won't come. People are still, still freaked out a little bit, and the venues want to charge a lot. They don't want to give the band a lot, so it makes it hard. So people go, yeah, how come you guys don't do a full tour? Now, if we get on a big tour, that's different. When we're on a bus and we're playing with Queensryche, like I was saying, we might do Queensryche and Armored Saint. They in April they asked us to do a couple weeks, be added to it, but that's still up in the air. But those kind of things work when you're with
Right,
another
right.
band and travel. But when you're like a band like Riot, who's going to come see us on a Tuesday in Muskogee? 10 people, and they won't give us any money. So that's why we fly in and do like a Thursday through Sunday and take a week off Thursday through Sunday, and we go to different
Right, right.
markets and stuff. So
Little,
unfortunately, that's the way it is.
yeah, but it is what it is, as you said.
Yeah, yeah, it's tough.
Thank you very much for your time.
Yep,
Love the
yep.
album.
Good. What's your favorite song? Mean Streets?
Favorite song. I love Lost Dreams.
Oh, awesome.
Love Beyond the Grave. Aside from the usuals, right? The Mean Streets, Hell to the Warriors, but Lost Dreams for whatever reason has stuck with me. But still, I
Awesome.
mean the first spins. I like to keep listening like the old days, right? Trying
Oh,
to figure
yeah.
out what the lyrics are saying. So
Yeah. Yeah. The lyrics and everything will be in there. And uh, all the songs I think are good because it's a conglomeration of Mike and me writing together. So we try to put out the best one, and hopefully everybody will like it and have their
hey,
favorites.
quick question. Since Atomic Fire was acquired from the other company, I forget the name right now. Do you know if they will improve the distribution of Atomic Fire records in the US?
Well, what they did was when they left Nuclear Blast, because Nuclear Blast is basically based. I mean, they have a U.S. crew, but they're basically based in
In Germany.
Germany.
Yeah.
And so when we released it, the distribution is okay over here, but it's better over there. So Atomic Flyer left, but now that new company they're working with, the Reigning Phoenix Music,
Right.
that's supposed to improve everything. They have
Oh,
major distribution. So when they all take over, it's supposed to get a better distro in the United States too. So,
okay.
so it should help.
Because the shipping costs from Europe have gone insanely high right
Yeah.
now. I got
No,
some albums from Bandcamp and it was like $30 for shipping.
yeah, no, we have we'll have distribution here, and we even have a new website we've been working with, a merch guy, that Vision Merch. So
Yeah,
if you look at Vision Merch, you can click on there, not only t-shirts, but it's got the albums, and they're in New Jersey, so it's America shipping.
that's awesome. I'm looking for
Yeah,
the vinyl edition.
yeah. So scope that out too.
Okay, man. Thank you very much. Have a
All
great
right, brother. You have a nice day. Okay.
bye bye.
Shine on.
Absolutely.
All right.